All right, welcome back. On RealCopStoriesVideos.com, you're on that site right now. Over 380 cop stories. Please look them up. Naked bodies, foot pursuits, dogs stopping at red lights. A lot of weird stuff going on there, okay? Please enjoy them all. They're all my babies. In addition to that, over 200 question and answers. So you want to ask me a question, go to email me at rsbcopstories@gmail.com. I'll answer you directly, and then we'll put it on video. A question came up about strange court trials, okay? And I already a couple of them. Here's another one. Okay, I'm not going to go into the arrest necessarily, but I want you to see what happens in court and how they do things in court. Okay, I'm working narcotics. Actually, I just made detective, so I have about 14 and a half years on. And I have a partner. We're going down the street. Okay, we're looking for, in an area where we're working, there's a lot of burglaries and car break-ins caused by heroin addicts. Okay, heroin addicts, they don't have an income, so they break into things, steal women's purses, they shoplift, do all kinds of stuff, and the stuff they get, they don't use it, they just go and hawk it or sell it to somebody, because that's what they do. So we're going on the street looking for heroin addicts. Now, heroin addicts are interesting to discover, and because, especially, well, we work day shift, so you don't normally find, because the defense will tell me later, I'll tell you about what defense does. The defense will always say that the guy was drunk. Okay, because they walk like you're drunk. They walk like, actually they walk like they're between a drunk and a bad DUI. That's probably the best way to explain it, okay? Their gait, in other words, they're walking out kind of unsteady. So you look for that. And of course you're looking for heroin addicts, you're looking for people that do that. So we're going on the street, my partner going down the street, my partner and I, and we see two ladies walking towards us, two Hispanic ladies. And of course we're in a plain car, but they know who we are. We came around the corner, and there they were. And my partner goes, look at him. I said, I got it. I'm already out the door, because I've been on the while, and so I see. So I bail out. As soon as they see us, they just stop, and she drops a little tin container, you know, a little box with like a large pill box with a metal lid. It's all metal. She throws it to the ground. And by that time, I'm already on the one on the building side, and the other girl starts to move. And of course, my partner was around. He's on her. Cuff him real quick. But as I'm getting out, let me back up. When I get out, when we see them, they're walking like this. Okay, so that's I saw real quick. In other words, as I'm getting out, I'm looking at them. I'm staring right at them because I'm looking for what? If they're going to run. I'm looking for their hands, see if they have any weapons. Even though they're a female, they can kill you, pull a trigger. I'm looking at the hands, and I can see that they're not steady. So that happens within about a second and a half of me covering the ground to get them. Okay, so I cuff her. Once I cuff her, like anybody else, once you cuff someone, they don't have arms to balance themselves, so she's standing there like this, you know. Okay. Look at her eyes. I'm talking to her in Spanish. She's talking to me. No alcohol in her breath. Okay. She's a heroin addict. Okay. What else would it be? Or some kind of a drug addict, not a drunk. Okay. I look down at her arms, and she's got, you know, a puncture wound here, which is where you would normally draw blood when you go to the blood bank. She had a couple here on the neck, on the carotid. Okay, you can see them. They're scabbed over. Okay, they're both. So as we're detaining them, my partner has walked up and he picks up that little container, opens it up, and it's a heroin kit. It's got a needle, a spoon for cooking the heroin, some old cotton syringes, a couple balloons of heroin in there. Okay, the whole ball of wax. Okay, so my gal is just standing there, kind of talking, kind of goofy, and okay, so they're both high. They're both high. Okay, so piece of cake. That's what we do. We're narcs. This is what we do. Okay, so we put them in the car, take them back to the station. Go in a room, we check their eyes. I've told you before, one of my videos, we check the eyes, we go in a dark room, we have a flashlight, and we have it behind their ear, facing this way, okay? And we bring it forward so we can see their pupils, okay? People's eyes are like cameras. The less light, the aperture opens wider, okay? You look at them, and it's like this. It's pitch black. Their eyes, we call them pinned. Okay, and we have a graph that we use as a pupilometer, and it has all the different, you know, from the small all the way to the big, and we use that as a guide to look at their pupils, and because what's happening is that the heroin is constricting the eyes, and that's a clue. Okay, then we have them pee in a bottle, and that usually tells that there's heroin in there too. So there's several things we use to determine this. Okay, fine. So they both peed in bottles. Their eyes were down. We got a kit. They're both under the influence. We took photographs of their wounds for court, and booked them. Okay. 2 weeks later, I get a subpoena. Well, actually, 2 weeks later, I get a call, or I get not really a subpoena. It's a request to meet the city attorney. So I call him up. Yeah, she's gonna go to trial. The one without the kit, I call it a kit, which is the syringe, the spoon, all that stuff. Okay, so I go over there with all whatever paperwork I have, and I walk in the door, and it's a Caucasian city attorney. I walk in his office. I go down where they work, and not the courtroom. I walk in, and he opened the door, and he goes, "Sir, I gave my name. I'm here to. Want to talk to me?" All right, you're Latin, and I'm thinking, well, that's a weird thing to say. He's a white guy, but that's a weird thing to say. I go, last time I remember, yeah, He goes, oh no, sit down. He goes, this is great. He goes, why? Well, they're going to claim that the white man is picking on the Latinas. They're going to claim racial profile and all that stuff. I go, well, I can't do that. He goes, yeah, that's great. He pumped up. I think he thought he was going to make it a racist thing. And that's going to happen. Okay, fine. So now here's what happens. I won't get into the court case a little bit because I already covered that before. I didn't cover this. So now we're discussing the case. He had the report, my report in front of him. We're looking at that. Okay, fine. So he goes, okay, he goes, this is our battle plan. So we're going to do this. We're going to have you testify. We're going to, this and that. Okay, great. I said, okay, sounds good. I said, now, you want me to bring the package, the tin can, and what we found out there, the heroin? He goes, no, we can't use that. What do you mean you can't use that? Remember, I have 15 and a half years on, and this is the first time I've had a case where not everything was used, which is really weird. I always try to make sure the city attorney has everything. We did. We can't use that. Why not? Well, because that belongs to the other defendant, and she's not on trial here. The defendant you arrested under the influence is on trial, and the charge is under the influence, not possession of that hype kit. I know, counselor, but they were walking together. Her friend had the hype kit. I interviewed some statements saying that they were going to go and get down, both of them together. Can't do it. The case has to stand on its own on the charge presented, which is under the influence. So you're telling me that I'm going to go in front of a jury and lie? No, you're not. No, you're not. Well, yeah. He goes, no. I'm just saying you can't talk about the other defendant. What if I do? They'll throw the case out and you get reprimanded. For telling the truth? He goes, no. He says, remember, we have to try her on her charges with the charge provided. I said, I know, but in narcotic circles, as an expert, they're together to go and get down. And my girl can't get down without this girl's hype kit. How can we not present that? He goes, we can't. I've done hundreds of these, you can't do it. You can see here, it's like, whoa, it's like when I watch TV and they don't give all the information on whatever liberal slant they have. They withhold some things, and I found out later on they could have added a few more words because they want their own agenda, right? They're going to. Well, I look at it. If you don't give all the news, then you're lying because you're withholding. Why are you withholding? If you want to give the people the truth, give them everything. Let the people decide whether they like Trump or Pelosi or whatever, but don't hold back because you have an agenda, which they do all the time. Okay. So anyway, I'm getting off track here, but that's what it is. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He goes, no. He goes, and he said, I'm a court officer, which he is. I said, I have to warn you that I officially, I went, oh no, I lean back. He looks at me, gives me a look. I have to officially tell you that if you bring up the other defendant, that I will send a reprimand to your captain. You cannot do that. I've advised you the procedure in this case as a court officer, and if you violate it, you'll get reprimanded. It was like this. I understand. He goes, I'm so sorry. I said, no, I don't understand how we could withhold evidence from a case. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. He goes, I know, but I have to go by the rules of the court and the rules of the state of California and all that. Okay. His argument is kind of correct. The charges is under the influence, not the hype kit. But I think you have to show the whole package. You have to show everybody's involved here. I said, you make it sound like she's just walking down the street and I just jumped out and grabbed her. No, that's not what happened. We saw the other gal throw the can. Can I just say she threw a can? No. Oh my gosh, really? This is crazy. But that's what we had to do. So I prepped for the case. It took me a whole afternoon. I got ready for the trial, and ultimately we went to trial. There was a lot of cross-examination, a lot of things I won't get into. I've gotten into before. Basically asked me like 30 questions, and I had to say no to all of them. He told me ahead of time. Are you a doctor? Are you a nurse? Are you a dermatologist? Are you a therapist? All these questions because I'm talking about wounds and all this stuff. So we won the case. We pulled some of the jurors. I think two black ladies, really nice, very professional nurse ladies were in the jury box. They liked the case. They liked my testimony. Again, when I testified at that young time of my career, not that young, but 15 years on, I testified and talked to every single juror. And in fact, one more thing I forgot. halfway through the trial, as I'm giving my testimony and cross-examination, this is great. The defense said, do you have time for this, Sonny? I'm doing okay. The defense said, Your Honor, he said, I need to come to sidebar. And so the sidebar goes, the judge says, okay, the jury take a 10-minute break and we're going to go to sidebar. So all the jurors left. So I'm sitting there and I'm on the stand still. And the judge goes, Counselor, what's your question here? Your Honor, I've asked these questions and the detective's not talking to me. He's looking away from me every time. And I look at the judge and the judge goes, what do you mean he's not looking at you? I said, well, I asked a question, he looks away. And he looks at me, what are you looking at, detective? Your Honor, I'm looking at the jurors. They're the ones that decide the case. And he looks at there's your answer. And the DA, the city attorney just kind of go like this, put his head down. He's upset because I won't talk to him. I won't listen to him. I won't look at him. I'm answering the question, but he asked me a question, and I go, this is why, he didn't like that. He goes, well, I think you should be looking at me. And the judge says, no, I don't think so. I think the officer can look wherever the heck he wants. And this time he doesn't want to look at you. He wants to look at the jury. Well, that's wrong. I said, well, I ruled that it's fine. Let's get these juries back in here. Okay. So he didn't like that. Okay, so they all came back. We continued on. I'm trying to make a story to fill the time here, but I'm pretty much almost done here. So, 2 weeks of this. I had like 2 hours in the morning. They break. When you got a trial, they pretty liberal with the lunch breaks, and because they have jurors, they want to make sure they're comfortable, and so they, it's 2.5 hours of testimony, and then 2 hours of break, and they come back, and there's the day that the court's dark, nobody comes that day, and it's pretty laid back. About a week and a half of to do this, and they found her guilty of under the influence. No big deal, They pulled the jurors again back to those really nice nurse ladies. They like that. The other side brought in a professional hired gun, which was a judge saying that everything I said was a crock. They even told the defense, well, we knew that doctor was a hired gun. We didn't believe a word he said. He just never like this. And he gets paid to come in here and lie. Wow. I went, whoa. They like him at all. And the defense goes, well, no, he's a doctor. And they go, I know he was, but we know what he is. He gets paid to do this. That's all that doctor did was go from court to court testifying against officers. And who pays him? You do. Okay, he charges the county. Okay. Anyway, so that's my story about that. It's just interesting how you would not allow me to use all that I saw because the rules that says I can't. And if I do, I get reprimanded and the case gets thrown out. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that one, and see you next time. Bye.